know about you guys, but something feels off out there in the market. We're watching everything going down on BAT and Cars and Bids and P-Car Market, and it's just something's off, man. I don't know what it is. We're going to talk about that. We're going to make predictions. This is Bid Nerds. The bidding starts right now. Bid Nerds is your YouTube car game show. Yep, yes it is. Hello everybody, my name is John Polnick. We are coming to you live from the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas. I am here with my partner Michael Deeb right over there on the far side of the screen. He's in San Francisco. What's going on, partner Michael Deeb?
What's up, JP? Believe it or not, I said no to a rally this morning in favor of hanging out with my daughter and watching football and having a lazy day on the couch. So I am finally out of the house and happy to be joined by the Nerd Herd. Man, the moon is bright. What's going on, buddy?
We are getting ready to talk about some cars. The Las Vegas Concours at the Wynn was something else, man. That they really pulled it off. I am impressed. That show kind of started off as a rival show to Vegas Auto Fest, and now the originator was just a complete Yahoo idiot that bounced it around to different venues. They sold it to the Wynn. And the Wynn has really taken it next level. Since it's gone to the Wynn, the last 3 years, every year they've just made it bigger, better, badder. It was, I have to admit, it was really impressive, Deep. It was something else. I wish you were there. Of course.
Bid Nerds should show up one year with our clubs and just like tee them up at the Concours and just start driving balls. And well,
shout out to a friend of the show and former guest, third nerd, Justin Bell. He's the one that got us our media badges. So Rami and I could walk around. So that was great. So thanks to him. I was looking all over for him. You could hear his voice all day because he was the MC of the show. But every time we kind of went up to the stage or whatever, he was off. He was like, "Oh crap, the Bid Nerds are coming. I'm out of here." So he was hiding out from us. But yeah, great show. So thanks again to Justin Bell. Hopefully we'll have him back on our show soon. All right, if you are watching this show for the first time, what do we do here? This is the Bid Nerds. We dig through all the listings on Cars and Bids, P-Car Market, Bring a Trailer. We find the most interesting ones, and then when we analyze those listings that we think are particularly interesting, and as a result of those listings, at least the analysis, we make predictions. What do we think will happen as a result of those listings? We always start off every episode by going over our predictions from the last episode, and then we get to the new prediction. So it's a lot of fun. You can play along with us. It's just like The Price is Right, but cars on the auction sites. And shout out to the Nerd Herd, everyone who's watching live right now. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Sunday night. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and like button, and do us a solid tonight. As we mention the cars, go and make a comment in the comment section on the auction sites. Are you ready to get going here, Deeb?
Absolutely, JP. We got some stuff to go over. Let's do this.
I kind of want to hit one of these, but I think I'd fall asleep real quick. Hippie sips will definitely relax you guys. We got a whole
Please hit that right now.
One of these shows, I'm just going to rip one open at the beginning, but I got to stay awake for the whole show.
I want you to drink one on the way in and then start on your second when we go live.
Maybe I'll drink one Tuesday night when we have the Cars und Creators here, the kickoff party at the Container Park this Tuesday.
I talked to every single member of the herd, and that's all we want for Christmas is for JP to drink 2 hippie sips on air. That's all we want for Christmas, JP. So by the 31st of December, you have to do that. That's our Christmas wish.
That will be something if we can make that happen. All right, let's get to the cars. What was the first car on the list? Michael Deeb.
All right, JP. A semi-impressive 2003 Porsche 911 Turbo recently ran on Cars and Bids. Let's circle back to this car here. As a modified 996 Turbo with a manual transmission, our car looks very handsome with some sort of GT2 and some other kind of cool, bespoke, like rocker panels with little air holes in it, and they got the wing up and all this stuff. It's also midnight blue metallic. Our car ran on Cars and Bids and is showing 93,900 miles. But the big news, JP, is all the stuff that they did to the motor with modifications by the good folks at Roof with the turbochargers, and AIM with a 550 package, 550 horsepower, which is going to, sort of I don't know, I'm losing my vocabulary right now, but basically fortify the car with better injectors and hardware and tuning and intake plenum, a better fuel pump, better throttle body, and aftermarket intercoolers. It goes on from there: lightweight flywheel, clutch, short shift, titanium mufflers, and welded coolant lines to handle all the additional power. And then they move on to the brakes. You got BBS wheels, you've got fancy tires, V3, KW V3 coilovers, and then control arms and sway bars and the whole shebang. JP, they kind of went off on this car. You got about 550 horsepower, and you got the suspension and braking to match. Now, the car comes to Cars and Bids, which might not be perhaps everyone's first choice to sell a car this niche. And then the guy brings it to market with terrible assets. And historically, Cars and Bids will accept whatever you send because they're still in a position where they're trying to run black ink. And nobody can fault them for that. We keep begging them to draw the standard, draw the line in the sand. But we're not officially on the board of directors. We're just the peanut gallery, like those two idiots in the balcony of the Muppets. But JP, this is a car that deserved better, and then it gets more interesting from here. So our friends at Classic.com tell us, JP, that a 996 turbo in the secondary market with a manual transmission is $73,000. I wonder if that's a modified number. I didn't think this car would fare that well. My bid was about 10 grand under that. I thought this car with these assets on this platform had a chance, if it did well, to hammer for $63,996. JP, you took the under by about 4 grand, coming in at $59,996. Buddha joined us as third nerd. Mike Myers was home in Vegas and popped into the studio to join JP. His bid, a grand under John's at $58,996. JP, this one is an absolute head scratcher. First of all, it hammered for $73,500 on 43 bids, but it failed to sell at that number. What are we doing? Are you out of your mind? That is all the money for that car. It has 100,000 miles on it. There's just listen to me. They not selling that car for $73,500. He will not get more money for this car. Nobody is going to give him $1 more than that number right there for that car right there. Unless he changes something or spends money on it, he will not get more money on it. By the way, we just had Halloween this weekend, which means the season is officially over. This car won't get a retail number, until middle of January when we hit Barrett Jackson. So like this car needs to go into hibernation. And if he's lucky, he'll get to like back into the 60s for my number. The fact that it hammered for $73,500 and he didn't accept it is a complete and utter failure. JP, I hate taking issue with Cars and Bids, but why is this car protected by a reserve that's higher than that number? That also doesn't make any sense. Who are their in-house specialists that are telling them, yeah, we'll give it 80 grand and then it'll go to 80 grand and then you can pay us? Like that, what? No way. It's October. Look out the window. What are we doing? It's just like, oh my God. This one, obviously you could tell, really pissed me off. That's all the money. You should have taken it. Now, I don't know what you're going to do now. Now you're going to go enjoy Christmas with no money in the bank and a car you don't want to drive. And where was this car again? I bet you he can't drive it anyway. New Jersey. So this car is going away. Yes. So he can't drive it until May. There you go, JP.
Okay,
That's
it.
It
gets worse. It gets worse because, of course I agree with all that stuff. This guy owns the car and he thinks that, okay, I spent all this money on all these expensive bits and that's going to bring all the extra money. You're 100% right. The miles belay all that money. If this car had low miles, it could be really something special. I think this car is a good value at $73,000. But here's the thing. As bad as these assets were, and as awful a job, if the assets were better, would it have brought more money? I think maybe, if it were on a different platform, maybe, but not by much. But the real drama here is the fact that the owner of this car reached out to us on the comment section of our last episode, said, hey, thanks for covering my car. This one's going to shock you, Deeb. I know how hard it is working at the platforms. I've never worked for one of the platforms. Just to be clear, Deeb has worked for one of them, but I've never worked for any of these platforms. But we hear time and time again how hard it is to get the sellers to bring you good assets. And we pound that over and over and over. Take good pictures. Pictures sell the car. Videos sell the car. Assets sell the car. These crappy, overexposed, poorly done photos and underexposed. It's all over the place, right? Well, here's where it comes down to it. These photos, Deeb, were taken by the photographer that Cars and Bids sent. The guy paid the extra money, and Cars and Bids sent him a completely incompetent idiot. And then further,
the idiot that BAT sent to Chef to shoot the Geo with the top up in Vegas. You got to be kidding me! Oh,
Cars and Bids,
guys.
Talk about an unforced error. When you got these photos back from one of your photographers who you charged the seller extra money for, how did you not say to the photographer, what are you doing? Go out there and retake the photos, or we're never hiring you again. And apologize to the seller and do everything you can to do things. It's just...
You burnt the guy's asset. That's just... Oh, my God. Oh, no. Dude, that's like the inmates are running the asylum. That is, JP, I cannot believe that story. Please tell me you're joking. Is it April 1st?
You can go back and look at the comments on our last episode, you guys. It is nuts. Almighty. This poor guy is stuck with his car for the rest of the season. He's not going to be able to sell his car until, call it April or something like that. It's Cars and Bids, guys. Come on. I know that some of you guys are watching the show. That can't happen. No. Do not complain to me ever again that, we can't get the sellers to give us good assets. And you send a photo. All right. What do you guys think of that?
And it gets weirder because in the comments, he said maybe everybody was bagging on how bad the shots were. And he wondered aloud in the comments, maybe I should ask them to pause it so we could get better photos. He's telling you in real time that his feedback is that this is an inferior listing and he's not satisfied. Holy God. I wonder if Doug DeMuro flew out to New Jersey to give him a back rub and say, I'm really sorry what we did to you. This is, I can't.
That's bad.
You can't make it up. Yeah, it's really bad. That's awful. That's mishandled in a grotesque way. That's pretty bad.
This is why you hire the bid nerds to sell your car, because we guarantee a happy ending for every auction. All right, guys, what do you think of not just the results, but what do you think of the fact that Cars and Bids sent a bad photographer? What would you do if you paid extra money, the photographer comes out and hands you assets like this? What would you do at that point? And what do you think Cars and Bids should do for this seller who they basically screwed? Let us know in the comments. Usually it's me blowing up in the studio, running around making noise, but this is the first. We got Deeb to pop his top.
Listen to the guy though. If they apologize and they tell you you're going to rerun the car, do not rerun this car until the second week of January. Just say, yes, thank you. You can rerun my car after you retake the assets and after Doug DeMuro reviews the car, but the car cannot run until January. Don't let them run it during the holidays. It's a whole nother boat anchor around your neck and you don't need it. So say thank you. Yes, I will let you do that. But just find out when Barrett Jackson starts and run it then, okay? That's free advice. The advice is free. All right, there you go.
That's actually an interesting idea that you just brought up, Deeb, is, have Doug DeMuro actually review the car,
Absolutely.
give you all the extra plug, give you extra. They owe this. They owe this seller.
Doug. Get in there, Doug. Use the whole nickel.
That's some P-car market moves right there. All right, guys, let us know.
That listing smelled like Oyster Bay.
All right, moving on. What's the next car on the list, Michael?
What the shuck is going on at Cars and Bids? All right, here you go. Also on Cars and Bids, thank you very much, Buddha, is this no reserve 1997 Volkswagen Eurovan Camper. I have to look down to see if it actually sold because it's running no reserve, Anyway, super nice car. Super low miles, and right there in Doug's backyard in San Diego, California, just 75,800 miles. This particular year and generation of the car, this is a camper that was done by Winnebago and not a Westfalia. So it's got a little more kitchen stuff, not a bathroom, but like kind of a working kitchen plus the pop top. It has the 2.8 liter front engine VR6. And these apparently, as I learned in the last episode, only are equipped with the 4-speed automatic. Low miles, very nice condition, very plain, but acceptable presentation. My partner cautioned anybody who's considering these products from Volkswagen to do their due diligence and really consider a different option. Buddha had a very nice counter to that, saying, look, I've owned one of these before, and they can be very good cars. So it's the point and counterpoint that goes back and forth. But I tend to listen to my partner. He has driven more cars than I have, and that's saying something. So his advice is usually pretty good. I've wanted one of these for a while. My wife is totally into the whole Volkswagen van life thing. And I got to tell you, JP, this car is as nice as anyone we've ever seen since we've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? Our friends at classic.com remind us that the price on these have come way down. The Winnebago camper versions still only bring $18,000. I thought our car would have a chance to get to $17,000. JP, who was bearish, took the under by $2,000, coming in at 15, and Buddha, who was very bullish, took the over by 3, coming in at 20. And JP, you and I got to eat a little bit of crow. Buddha was right. Our car hammered for $18,750, where it sold on a whopping 61 bids. Buddha was all in on this car at $20,000. It brought basically 19, and with the fees and stuff, the buyer's paying the 20. That's all the money. So I'm going to say well sold. But JP, is there any part of you that might agree to the sentiment that like that's still like, if it winds up being half as reliable as Buddha implies that they can be if they're looked after, you got to admit on some level that's a lot of car for the money. Or do you just think it's really not, you don't
because
think so?
I'm
so
with
not well bought.
Look. Okay, the people are unreasonable. They are nice to drive when the problem is that these are great when they work. But when they stop working, it's a major pain in the butt, and it's very expensive, just like any other German car. I love the whole the romantic idea of van life. I actually really like it. Like, I don't actually want to live in one, but I really like the idea of going out and camping in one. My wife really wants to do it. I was like shocked. Yeah. We're like, my wife? Are you kidding? She likes the idea, but she wants like an old American van, like an old, like a Chevy. What do you call it? 3500 or whatever. The big, camper conversion ones. Not really camper conversions, but the ones with the captain's chairs and stuff like that. And you can get those for reasonable amounts of money. You can get them for, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 gets you a really nice one. And let me tell you, a big V8 in one of those is incredibly reliable. You'll get 300,000 miles on them. And when the engine goes, it doesn't cost you anything to replace it. If the transmission goes wrong, you can get it fixed at any shop anywhere in the country. If one of these goes wrong when you're in the backwoods of God knows where, you're screwed. You got to get AAA to drag it 300-400 miles to a shop that knows how to actually do anything to it. It's interesting. One of the Nerd Herd members, MCM91, in the comments of this, I don't know if MCM91, are you watching right now? I don't know if I don't recognize that call sign, but I did see it in the comments of this auction. He said, and I quote, "By the power of Bidners, I shall buy this damn thing." So he was all excited about it. And I was like, oh, sweet, right on. But sadly, he bugged out at $12,000, and obviously this thing went on to bring much more money. Look, MCM91, you dodged a bullet. I'm with you. $12,000 is the most I would pay for one of these as well. I think maybe that would be a pretty good steal, but $1 more than that, forget it. Not worth it. Smart move. So
JP saying if you pay retail for a Eurovan camper, you better save up for a satellite phone because that's the only way you're going to get AAA to find you.
Well, you know what? I was looking around on like Marketplace literally a couple of months ago for a van, and I found one. There was some company. The van life thing was such a big deal for a while that there was a company here in Nevada that was renting them out. They bought like a fleet of them, and they had really cool converted vans with cool. It wasn't super, it didn't have a kitchen or whatever, but it kind of had one like a pull-out thing in the back. It was just really well thought out. And they all had like a couple 100,000 miles on them, but they were only like $6,000 or $7,000, and they were nice. So forget forget this stupid Volkswagen stuff. You're just paying a premium for a headache. Anyways, that's what I think. Let us know in the comments, and let's move on, Michael D. We got to get through these shit boxes and get to some decent cars, because we really are. I'm sorry. The list of cars that I don't know, do we blame it on Buddha? I don't know who we're going to blame this on. Buddha, I love you. But we just had shit cars on the last episode. Let's get through these last couple ones so we can get some predictions to good ones, because we've got really good cars tonight.
I picked 2 of them, so half of it's on me. I will take all the credit for this 1994 Geo Tracker 4x4 that we are going to circle back to right now. Our car having just 46,000 miles original from new. It's running no reserve on Bring a Trailer, and it's down there in Live Oak, California. JP, it's a normally aspirated front engine inline, 1.6 liter, blah, 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 but it's a 5-speed manual transmission. And this thing is just so 90s. Look at the little box fender flares. That photo is so good. So anyways, it's running no reserve, and the big question is, would it bring any money at all? JP, our friends at classic.com tell us that the average selling price of a Geo Tracker is $8,000. I thought our car would bring almost twice that. My bid coming in at $15,000. You really like this car. You went higher on your bid for this than you did on the Eurovan. Your bid here coming in at $19,995, and the hell with it. You don't even need a cell phone because this thing's so reliable. Buddha came in at 16, and Buddha missed a Yahtzee by $250. Our car hammered for $16,250, where it's sold on just 16 bids. I don't know, man. I don't know that teaches us anything. There's no Geo Trackers in the secondary market. But to see one so original, so clean, so well preserved, with so low miles, I'm not surprised it brought twice as much as what the average one does. You could drive a car like this, kind of ironically. You could probably commute in it if you wanted to, but I just think it would be fun for the bid nerds to drive to a really good Radwood in one of these things. But you have to tell me where the really good Radwood is.
Yeah, we would have to dress up like Zoolander models and burn victims or something like that.
Yeah,
this is the famous
orange mocha frappuccinos.
Yeah, that they all had the slow motion gasoline fight in. It was an interesting conversation in the comments that I noticed. Something came up that I'm surprised doesn't come up more often. But this was a dealer in California selling this car, and a lot of folks were asking, okay, we want to buy it and bring it to our state that maybe doesn't have sales tax. Do I have to pay the sales tax? And there was a lot of misinformation. A lot of people were just like, I was shocked how ill-informed everyone was, including the car dealership themselves. It was like, what is going on? Look, if you buy a car from California, specifically from a dealership, and you want to bring it home to your state that doesn't charge sales tax, you have to have the car shipped. You can't go to the dealership, buy it, and drive it home. They will charge you sales tax on the spot. They have to.
But there's a way around that, and that's to just drive it to the state line, and then you could take it from there. They just, if it's gonna touch the ground in California, they have to collect tax and they have to handle the title transfer. Otherwise, they can give you a one-way trip sticker, which will allow you to drive across other state lines, and then they can ship you the title or FedEx you the title or whatever, and then you can take the car and do all your own paperwork. But the truck, in most cases, like if it's leaving the Bay Area, we truck the car to Reno, and then you can get in the car and pay the driver in Reno, and then you've got your trip sticker, and you could drive it to St. Louis or New Orleans or wherever you're going, and then Southern California, same thing. I'm sure they take them to Barstow or whatever, or State Line in Nevada or something like that. But those are your basically 2 drop-off points, and you could drive it from there. So everything JP said is true, and there's also a workaround for dealers that know what they're doing.
Yeah, and the thing is, this particular dealer was adamant. They're like, we're charging sales tax unless you ship it. We're not letting you drive it off this lot. And I've had dealers that I've tried to do it, and they will not do that. So you better check with the dealer ahead of time before you try that or expect them to do something like that. So anyways, that was kind of interesting. Let us know what you guys think of the results of this tracker. I think, for $30,000, you could buy an RV and tow this tracker behind it. This is the perfect vehicle for one of those tow behind things. But we're not talking about Geo Trackers anymore. Let's move on. What's this next shit box? Skip past these. Come on.
Did you see this beautiful 2005 Mercedes-Benz C55 AMG that was running as an alumni listing on Bring a Trailer? Our car showed just 35,000 miles. It had previously sold in March of 2021 for $26,000. But this is a new day and a new time. So out of Alpharetta, Georgia, our car was sitting there. And let's see, our friends tell us that these C55s bring 17 grand in the secondary market. It sold a couple years ago for 26. I thought it would kind of get in between those two numbers. My bid, 22.5. JP's bid, 21.5. And Buddha's bid, just $19,000. Our car hammered for 14 grand where it went away. Actually, no. So it sold. It must have. So yeah, it sold.
Well, it failed to sell, and then the buyer came to Jesus and realized, I need to get rid of this pig because nobody wants it. He took an extra $500 and took it. It's interesting though. A black one sold. Yeah, a black one with 34,000 miles sold back in, what was that? I guess that would be June or July for. How much did this one go for? This one went for $27,000. So here it is. This car, it's pretty much the same car. What's that? Photos and color too. Yeah. Who wants a burgundy Mercedes, like regular looking Mercedes? At least in black, it looks kind of classy. But I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? How did this car get on the list? Like who picked this? Did you pick this, or did we just? Come on, man. Do better. All right, let's move on. What do we got?
All right. Commercial break.
Oh, it's a commercial break. Thank freaking God. All right, we'll be right back with predictions on real cars that we actually give two shits about right after this, if I can find the button.
Hey guys, you're probably looking at your watch and wondering if Bid Nerds will ever end. So you better talk to our friends at Our Smiths to make sure your Rolex, Tag Heuer, AP, or any fine timepiece is in tip-top shape. Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair.
Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair. Anthony, how's it going? I know he's watching. Anthony Vieira from Our Smiths up there in Idaho. We need to send Anthony some hippie sips. We need to send him a case of this stuff because then he could mellow out and hang out because he seems a little angry in the comments right now. I mean, he needs some THC stuff here, right? These are really good. Buddha was in the studio on the last episode, and he drank one, and he was expecting it to be fizzy, so he was kind of surprised. But he was like, this is pretty good. And then at the end of the episode, we had the credits rolling, and then the credits went, I was trying to quit the show, and we came back, and he's like, yeah, it tastes pretty good. Like, it was like, dude, you're making it sound like you didn't like it. He's like, no, I like it. I'm cutting it and everything like that because the sponsor's watching and everything. But he was like, yeah, no, he was surprised that it didn't have, there's no carbonation. It's basically juice with all the good stuff in it. It's really good. The way to do it, the way I've been told the best way to drink it is like over ice, throw a little vodka in there, and now we're really talking. But anyways, now see, it's Sunday night. I'm just going to chill out. I'm not going to have a very good Monday here, I think, at the way these are going.
Up and down at the same time. Good job.
That's right. All right. Go to hippiesips.com, see if you can get yourself a case. Different states have different rules, kind of like the taxes on cars. All right. We are going to make some predictions on some really cool cars. What's the first car on the list, Michael Deeb?
All right, JP, it's the wrong time of year to sell a Dodge Viper. So what is this guy doing on Bring a Trailer right now? He's got a very collectible 1994 Dodge Viper RT10 with just 15,000 miles from new. Listed out of Moseley, Virginia. This guy is trying to generate some Christmas cash just in time for the holidays. JP, when the Viper came out, everybody knew that it was a plagiarized, updated version of the original Shelby Cobra. But this car, the new thing that's a big swoopy coupe. I feel like the last couple of versions of the Viper have more in common with an E-Type Jaguar than this original pen of the Dodge Viper. And John, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think this thing has aged really well. Now, don't get me wrong. I hate the interior of this car. And my understanding from people who have owned these early ones that trying to get across the threshold and get your bare calf out in front of that exhaust pipe so you don't, burn your leg or whatever, is a, process unto itself. But this original version of the Viper is wide and dramatic and cool and balanced. It looks aggressive. It looks fun. It still looks fresh to me. And it sure seems like for the money, it would be a hell of a lot of fun for just a secondary car not to go do a rally and keep up with your friends in Porsches, but just to, have 500 pound-foot of torque underneath your right foot and be able to steer with the throttle. I think that the original Viper is fun. I think it's a footnote in American car history, and I'm glad that they're semi-collectible. This one looks pretty nice, but it's come to market, I think, at just the wrong time of year, and thus I don't think this car, even though it seems to be in relatively collectible condition, has a chance to get up into the classic.com average for the cars in the secondary market. Sort of fair to, meh assets, and absolutely the wrong time of year to be selling this car. So this will be an interesting exercise in running the car. And I can see, like we saw JP, that guy selling the C55 was desperate to sell that car. He spent 26 on it a couple of years ago. It hammered for 14, and he made a post-hammer deal for $500 more than that. There are other people that have not had a good year that are desperate to get rid of their toy so that they can get through the holidays and the winter. And I totally understand that. And it'll be interesting to see if this car goes for a song. So, JP, as much as I love this car, I may have only gotten a ride in one once. I've never actually driven it. I'm assuming you have, because you've driven so many cars. Is it as fun as it looks? Again, I know it's not a sports car, but as a toy, as a golf cart with 500 pound-foot of torque, is it a blast? Is it like a can of Hippie Sip? What do you say?
Yeah, these are very dramatic. Everything you've heard about these are true. The later generations really are better cars. Like the third gen Viper is actually my favorite. I really like those. I really can't stand the sensibilities of this kind of early 90s design language. I think it's neat. I'm glad, like you, that it exists. They are absurdly fun. You will burn your leg getting in and out of them every goddamn time. Ask me how I know. It's interesting though when you think about like this car. I remember having arguments with my uncle about these in period, because even back then, before I could afford Porsches, I was a total Porsche snob, and he just thought I was the biggest moron because it's like I wanted a 911 instead of this. Dodge has a Viper, 10 cylinders, and 500 horsepower. That 911 only has, it was just like we argued for hours over, every holiday, every time we got together. Eventually we would get to some conversation about how some kind of American muscle car is better than those stupid German things that I like. And this particular car, it always came head to head, was this car, because this was the coolest car that America made at the time. And I was, talking about how great 964s that were contemporary at the time. Interesting. A 1994 Dodge Viper was about $57,000 MSRP in period. You can check that, guys. Go on Grok or something like that and find out if that's true. And then you know what you could get at the Porsche dealership for $55,000? An RSA 964.
Yeah.
Which would you rather have now? Suck it, Uncle Les. So anyways, all right, what do we think this thing's going to bring?
All right, JP, here is where the rubber meets the road. Our friends at classic.com tell us that the average selling price of that first-gen Viper is essentially $49,900. So I just rounded up to $50,000 in the secondary market. Our car is currently sitting at $34,094, and it has 2 days to go until it closes. Initially, JP, I didn't think this car had a chance to get there, but tonight it got another bid. Or did it get a bid? Yeah, no, it got another bid the other day. Anyway, it's gotten a couple more bids, and I'm going to raise my bid. Initially, I wrote $38,000. I do think this car will get to 40, but I don't think this car should sell for 40. However, it might. People get desperate as we get close to the holidays, and you never know what's going to happen. So, JP, I'm just going to round my bid up to $40,000 and give you all the real estate underneath me. But it's at $34,094. We have 2 days to go until Hammer. Where are you at, John?
Yeah, I think it breaks 40. Something's weird in the market. Like we said at the top of the show, I feel like it's like, is the foundation crumbling under us? Are people about to lose all confidence? It's just odd out there. There's all these indicators. Everyone's talking about how worried they are. Everyone's kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, but no one's changing. No one is doing anything when it comes to behaving differently. Everyone's just acting like everything's fine here. It's like the little dog in the room that's on fire. We've all seen the meme. Everything's fine. Everything's good. And, you know, we've seen some prices starting to fall and a little bit, but we haven't seen full on crashes. And I've been actually kind of paying attention to the third gen ones of these, and they're doing okay. So I think this thing, I'm going to go $45,010 and say that I think it could get as close. I think it could get as high as the classic.com value. I know it's in a weird part of the country, but these are easy to ship, and maybe people are trying to like kind of find a place to put their cash because they think cash values are going to, you know, that there's going to be a lot of inflation. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Looks like the nerd herd is kind of with us. Everyone's, we got David Sullivan. What's up, David? He was here earlier today. He was bringing some stuff, set up some really cool guitars over at the Air and Water Shop across the hall here. So you guys will have to come to Vegas and check that out. But yeah, 42,000, 46,000. So one bit above 47. Anthony thinks it's going to get more than I do. So interesting. All right. Let us know. Let's move on. What's the next car on the list?
Anthony always high bids American cars. I mean, my God, Anthony.
Is that what it is?
Oh,
okay,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he drives Porsches and he prays to GM. So let's keep it real. JP, I am running a 1982 Porsche 911 SC for a client on Bring a Trailer right now. This car is here with me in San Rafael, California, and is showing 69,000 miles from new on the odometer. The car is beautifully presented for a number of reasons. It is the Zin Metallic. JP, I have looked this up like 5 different times since I've had this car. Zin Metallic is sometimes referred to as pewter, as zinc, and as tin. So you tell me what the name of this car is in English. I don't know. John, between you and me, it looks a little bit like Atlas Gray, if you remember that old color from Audi back in the day. It's a teeny bit lighter than that, but it's, you know, it's not silver, it's not gray, it's kind of that right in between. The car came from the factory. It is that option package, which I think was like 791 or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's with wings. So it's got the front air dam and it's got the turbo specification rear wing hanging off the back. Those are factory options. It also came from the factory with a limited slip differential. Now on the inside of the car, JP, we've got a Momo steering wheel. I love Momo steering wheels on a Porsche, but this particular wheel has like a modern thick grip. And I don't think that suits this generation of the car. So while I like that it has a Momo, it's like, to me, the wrong Momo. But it's really cool. It's all black Momo. It looks a little bit like a Monte Carlo. Got a wooden shift knob that was put in, red seat belts that were put in, and aftermarket sport seats. They look like the early turbo Carrera sport seats, but these are aftermarket. And JP, you would love this car because it sits a little high on the rails. So when I get in the car, with my ball cap on, I can feel the headliner. JP, you would be like, absolutely yes. It's like it's propped perfect for you, buddy. This car is really nice. This car is on an Ohio title, and prior to coming to California a couple of years ago, it had an engine out service. They changed a cylinder and then resealed everything and put it back together. And then since it came out to California, the seats, the steering wheel, the shift knob, the seat belts, and then the last thing I forgot is a major aftermarket air conditioning system. So now this car will truly blow cold air all the way up to about 95 or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So super nice driver quality car, JP. There is an accident in its history. There has been a little bit of paint work on the front driver's side of the car. That's we don't have any information on that because it happened prior to coming to California. It's like it wasn't done, you know, under our tutelage or the seller's time with the car. So we can't really answer too many questions about it. But driving this car, JP, the gearbox is smooth, the suspension is fresh, the steering, the brakes, everything. It drives really, really nice. I will say this, JP, I loved my turbo look, that chiffon car. if my car drove as well as this one did, I probably never would have let it go. So this one is really the real deal. There you go, JP. A fine SC with some interesting options, some valuable maintenance. There is an accident on its history and very favorable miles. What can one of these bring if it does actually get a retail number when it hammers here in a couple of days? So what do you think, JP? You know these cars better than I do. These motors are after driving this car for a little while, I'd probably rather have an SC than a 3.2 next time around. You know what I mean? Like the motor has so much more personality than, the 3.2 that was in my car, So there you go. What do you think?
Yeah, the 3.2s do kind of feel restricted unless they have a G50. This particular car, is this the same color as Ben the Professor's car? Check out Ben the Professor. So. Yeah, check out the Professor's film on Cars Unknown. That's our sister channel. Go over there if you want some more Porsche content. Look, Deep, this car is beautiful. Great job, as always, presenting this.
Kev, the photographer.
Photographer is great, and the backdrop really suits the car well. I still have a hard time with 911 SCs. Being a Gen Xer like I am, it's really difficult for me to think of the idea that a 911 SC that used to be the cheap 911, that used to be the easy way to get into an air-cooled car, and I just over $30,000 just seems berserker to me, right? But even in that world, even still being in that paradigm in before times, I think if you would have come across this particular car in this particular condition, even then you'd be like, yeah, this thing's really, really nice. This thing is definitely going to bring whatever the premium of whatever the cars are bringing, whatever era. So I think you're poised to do pretty well. I think it's the biggest thing that's going to hurt this car is the time of year. It's just kind of a bummer that here it is. We're going into fall. You can drive these all year long, but I doubt anyone who buys this is going to do so unless maybe they're in LA or something like that. But what do you think it's going to bring?
Yeah, JP, it's very interesting. So I went to the Easy Show yesterday morning and then had to hustle back across the bay to Santa Fe. I had back-to-back appointments for people locally that wanted to drive the car. And both of them, one was a single gentleman and the other one was a young couple. Both of those families are multiple Porsche owner families that simply wanted to add a just totally dressed down, drivable, air-cooled car. That was the whole reason. One guy's got fancy turbo Carrera and soft window Targas, and the other family's got a modern 911 and a Macan, and everybody just wants is this the last of the affordable, attainable air-cooled G-bodies? This is kind of it. And that seemed to be a uniformed motivation for taking a closer look at this car and bidding on it before hammer. JP, the car is currently sitting at $48,750 and it closes in 2 days, essentially Tuesday morning. Our friends at classic.com tell us that the average selling price of an SC coupe in the secondary market is now $64,000. And I will just give the nerd herd a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The reserve on this car is higher than that. So, JP, I will recuse myself from bidding as I'm representing the seller and the car. But John, what do you think? What would you put a number on? Not what you think an SC is worth, but what you think SC will bring.
What my heart says the SCs are worth, but come on, we pay attention to the market. I see what's going on. This is definitely not a $30,000 911 SC. And which is there really such thing anymore? Man, I mean, a 911 with a roof, this is going to bring money. I think it's going to do surprisingly well despite the time of year. Will it break 80? That would not surprise me, but I'm going to go 79, 911 and say this thing's going to be strong. I think even though things are weird out there in the world, it should get up there because, come on, man, it's so hard to find clean ones like this. What do you guys think out in the nerd herd? Most of the nerd herd isn't quite as strong as I am. I thought I saw someone in the 80s here, but most everyone's in the mid to high 70s. So I still think you're going to do well, but I think this car's going to surprise everyone. I mean, again, we talk about it over and over and over again. Great assets and romance sells the car. The car video looks good too. So
JP, leave that up for 1 second, just a second. We don't talk politics too much, but this is the old military fortress or whatever that like this is basically out beyond the Golden Gate Bridge, and so these are all bunkers where they would shoot cannons if you were going to try to thread the needle and come in through the bay. This is how they used to protect California 150 years ago, and this is all decommissioned and stuff. We shot this car, I don't know, let's call it 2 months ago or something, or a month and a half ago. Since the government shutdown, I can't access this road, and so we keep shooting down on the grass. This is closed as part of the government shutdown. I can't get back here and shoot again, which is really bumming me out. So I just thought,
is the gate closed?
Yeah, they closed the gate here to get to the road. It's a one-way road to get to this area to shoot the cars, and that road is currently off limits. They don't want bicyclists, which is the main path for cyclists that go all the way out to the lighthouse there and then come back. And it's really nice for the cyclists because they don't really have to contest with a lot of traffic. So it's a great route for bicyclists. But this was kind of our, secret photo place. And now when you talk about like, the government shut down, it's like, it doesn't really affect anybody. I'm mad and I can't take it anymore, So
because he's got to find another spot to shoot your cars.
My life is so difficult, JP. I just wanted to cry a little bit. There you go. All right.
There you go. The SNAP benefits, and Deeb can't get his car shot in a cool spot.
I need a hippie sip.
Man, take some hippie sips and just chill out, and everything's going to be just fine. All right, let's move on. What do you guys think that 911 SE? Beautiful car. We'll be definitely watching that one closely. All right, what's next?
JP, I like to pick one weird car for every show to make everybody laugh and sometimes just to pee you off. But this might take the cake for the most hideous car we have ever covered. And that is saying something. John, I don't know if I even knew this car existed. Feast your eyes on a 2000 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS Jeff Gordon's signature series. Apparently, this is number 2 of 24 made, and presumably number 1 went to Jeff Gordon. How much you want to bet he still doesn't own it? Essentially, it is a bespoke painted, homage to Jeff Gordon and his General Motors contract and the fact that he was winning championships in NASCAR. And GM was all too proud to go out on a limb and make 24 of these things. I'm shocked they sold that many. But here we go. JP, 3,900 miles from new. Believe it or not, it is a 3.8 liter V6 with a 4-speed automatic driving the front wheels. I mean, what if you like somebody?
I didn't know that. Really? These are front wheel drive?
If you like somebody, why would you honor him with that? Like, where's the V8 and rear wheel drive if you want to say something nice to somebody? Like this is like it's actually like telling him, yeah, we don't care about you, and we painted the car to look really clownish. This thing is just so hideous. It's hard to palate. It's hard to look at. It is so bad and so gaudy. Like, it just makes you wonder who GM hires for styling. I know this is a long time ago. This is 2.5 decades ago, but man, this thing was ugly then, and it has only gotten worse. And JP, not surprising, these cars have, virtually no value, despite having just 3,900 miles on the odometer. Now, this car ran on Bring a Trailer back in April of this year. At that time, the car sold for $19,000. It is coming right back to market in the same calendar year at a worse time of year. Those two things alone conspire to hold it back from replicating the result it just had. So if it sold for 19 then, I don't think it's got any chance to get anywhere near that number moving forward. So JP, I promise I won't do this again, but there you go, a 3.8 liter V6. So basically 4 liters to get 200 horsepower. What a piece of cheese this car is. I mean, my God, what a way to honor somebody. We're going to put your name on a Monte Carlo. I'm sure his agent was like, just please don't do that. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, NASCAR is bad enough it is as it is. You got something like, okay, we talk about on this show all the time how the big driver for the market right now is young timer cars, right? The boomers are pretty much getting out of everything. Gen Xers are slowing down. They've pretty much gotten everything that they want. What drives the classic car market is the generation that has the money and has the disposable income to go out and buy the cars that they wanted when they were a teenager or in college but didn't have the money, or get the car that they did have to kind of recapture their youth, right? So you wind up getting out of college, you wind up getting, you're young, you go out into the world, you don't have any money for a while, you start your family, you buy a house, you do all these things, maybe you're paying for college for a kid, and then finally somewhere around your late 40s into your 50s, you can go back and start to get those toys because you have disposable income. So we're seeing all the 90s and early aughts Volkswagen's doing really well. We're seeing really cool, great values on things like Supras and Acura Type Rs and all that kind of stuff from their, early 2000s and late 90s. And here's this car, and you go, okay, this is a model year 2000, supposed to be a special thing. No millennial, no young timer wants this.
Yeah.
Right? They never wanted it then. They definitely don't want it now. No one ever wanted this car back then except for boomers. This car was designed, created, and marketed towards the dumbass boomer that thought, oh, I'm going to get one of 24 and I'm going to put this in my garage and one day it's going to be worth all the money. This is my retirement plan. I mean, what? This car is just such a fail. Someone in the comments said it's just a Chevy celebrity basically with a rainbow. This is just hideous in every way. Is it going to bring anything? I don't see this car bringing more than a couple bucks more than it's already at. What do you think?
Yeah. Lucas, the bid turn, says it looks like the gift you would get if you smoked a shipping container full of Marlboros. You would win one of these things, which I thought was a damn good analogy. JP
comes with a windbreaker that matches.
Yeah. Oh my God. Our car comes. Yeah, exactly. Our car closes in 2 days. It's currently sitting at $7,250, and that's on 8 bids. When it ran last time, earlier this year in April, like 6-7 months ago, it hammered for $19,000 on 18 bids. It's at $7,200 on 8 bids. I don't think it's going to get to the same bid number, and I don't think it's going to get to the same retail number. JP, my bid for this car is just $12,055 at Hammer 2 days from now, and it'll be on less than 18 bids. This car is going nowhere. This is
fast.
And it's an awful listing, listing. So sometimes we just have a laugh. This one's so bad, it's like there's nothing to laugh at. Like, it's like,
well, why did this guy buy it in the first place, and why is he selling already? Did you buy it on a bet? Was it one of those kinds of things? Yeah. Like, okay, you lost, now you have to buy this stupid thing, and now he's just finally get rid of it. I mean, just dude,
that's a good story, but judging by the neighborhood they're in, no, that's not what happened.
I'm going under. I'm taking just 12,000 flat. I think it's entirely possible this thing doesn't get another bid. What do you guys think? You know what? I'm going to amend my bid. I know that we don't usually allow that, and if my partner acquiesces, then I'm going to amend my bid. If he says no, then I won't, but I'm going to say $12,024.
So I did the 55 for the SS. So you're 12,024 for Jeff's race number. There you go, JP being cute. All right, well, we got 2 more cars to cover, JP. Our good friend Chris Carbine, who is about to have a very big week. I do think he's going to have a really big week, but he's got 2 black AMG Mercedes that are running at the same time, and I begged him to let me cover those cars for him. And by beg, I mean there'll be an email with an invoice heading to New Orleans so he can start paying us for this. Chris, you got to sponsor the show, man. Let's just make this official. Let's get it on. Put a ring on it, Chris. Why are you such a commitment phobe? My God, what is it with that guy? Really cool cars that he's got. JP, they're both low mileage. They're both AMG. We'll start with the 2012 E63 AMG sedan. This car is a one-owner car and has less than 24,000 miles on the odometer. It does also have the AMG performance package, and the performance package is going to kick it up a little bit. So now you're talking 550 horsepower. It'll have a better tire on it. It'll have no governors on it. It'll run to like 180 miles an hour. It's black on black. It looks very handsome. The car looks flawless. And JP, talk about somebody listening to the show. Chris Carbine and his asset game has totally been kicked up a notch. All these pictures he takes with no direct sunlight in this brick alleyway somewhere in his neighborhood really do give the cars a chance to really look dramatic in the photos. I mean, these look like they might have just come right out of the brochure. So super nice car, limited slip differential, 550 horse, 600 torque, very nice car. JP, our car is sitting at $22,500 on 8 bids. This one's got a little ways to go. Our friends at classic.com tell us that the E63s typically bring 23, but this car is really low mileage and all original. And so even though it's at the 23 now, I think this car has got a ways to go. JP, my bid on the E63 sedan with the performance package, black on black, and really fair miles, I think this car easily breaks 30 grand. $33,363 to you, my friend. What do you think of the muscle car sedan? And give us a number.
It's so insane how much Mercedes cars depreciate. This thing, this is a 6-figure car, and here it is. It's only going to bring Kia Forte money. I mean, $30,000. That's insane for the amount of car that you're getting here. And the other thing that's interesting too is that, imagine if this thing were shaped like a brick. You would call it a G-Wagon, and it would still be worth, $80,000. But because it's not shaped like a brick, because it's just shaped like a regular sedan, it's only going to bring 30 something. And it's just, it's such an amazing value. Why would anyone go buy a Camry when they can go get this for 30 something? What was your bid? 33? What was it?
33. Yeah. 33,363. And believe it or not, JP, this car is 14 years old already. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I'm going to take the under just because I'm a curmudgeon. I'm going to go 32 grand and say that somebody's going to get just so much car for nothing. Yeah. This is nuts. Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? Let us know. Let's move on. What's the next car?
All right, JP. And then he's got now a 2008 Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG with the P30 performance package on this car. This car is essentially 4 years older and has just 23,400 miles on it. Also in black, but with a tan and sort of beige interior. I like the color combination together. I would prefer it if it had an all black dashboard, but that's just not what Mercedes was doing back then. JP, correct me if I'm wrong. You and Rochelle used to have a white SL500 from this generation of SL. Is that right?
Yeah, it was silver.
Did you have an older one?
It was silver. But
silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So very cool. So 2008 JP winds up being the last year for this generation of the car. And apparently finding an SL55 with the performance package makes it very, very rare indeed. So this one of the two, JP, winds up being the more interesting car to me. So you got really aggressive brake pad material, huge 6 or 8 piston calipers up front, multi-piece wheels, limited slip differential. The governor's turned off. And again, this car will go all the way up to 190 before you run out of gear. So very, very interesting car. And I think this one's got a little bit brighter finish in store. So our car is currently sitting at $30,750 by way of 38 bids. JP, our friends at classic.com tell us that the average selling price of one of these is only 26. So we're already over that. But I think there's another 10 grand in store for this one by the time it hammers. And I think this car is going to have a very easy time getting there. So I think $40,000 at Hammer. And Chris and his clients are all going to be very, very happy when this car closes 2 days from now. So, JP, you've owned the SL. You love cabriolets. What do you think of one that can literally unleash like 600 pound-foot of torque, and you don't have the complexity of a V12? This is forced induction at its best. This thing absolutely rips. What do you like about it, and what do you think it'll hammer
the
for?
SL55 is decidedly different from the 550 or the 500, and this would be the .2 version essentially. They didn't call it that, but it's kind of like, you know, the 997 did a .1 and kind of had a slight facelift and a little bit more power in the second version. That's what they did with the Mercedes here, and it's a big improvement, huge, like drastic. If you're looking at one of these, what is an R? Was it 129 or something? I don't know. I always get confused on that. I'm probably wrong on that, but these are great. These drive so nice. There's so much car for the money, especially in the 55 version. I'm excited. I would be looking at buying this car, honestly, if it had a black interior. The tan is really going to hurt it. If it had black interior, it would be $10,000 above what you're thinking. They really, really do bring that much more money. And so because of that, I'm going to go a little under you. I'm going to go 37.55 and hope it does better. Hope it goes to the money that you think it will. But wow, what a fun car to drive in low miles. Woo. But not exactly the cheapest thing to run, but who cares? This is great. Great car.
Yeah. So when you do that performance package, they change the front air dam, and so that front air dam that has those little gills in the side is the front air dam that's on the AMG 65 cars, which is the V12. So they borrow that front air dam for the performance package 55s. And JP, I had to look it up, so I didn't know it either, but the correct generation for this SL is the R230. The R129 was the gen before all this that we covered Kevin's black car not that long ago.
That's right.
Up at the photo shoot place. By the way, we shot Kevin's black Mercedes and my SC that same day, and that was the last time we got up there that road.
Able to get in there before they closed it off.
Yeah, we're laughing. You know, now we can't get up there. We keep going. Every time we try to go to that road, it's closed. We go down to the
you know what's crazy looking at this Mercedes, the more we're looking at this SL, you know, we talk about it all the time, how modern the newer versions of just about everything just suck. And this is the last generation of any Mercedes sports car other than like the AMG GTs that I really I mean, this nose looks fantastic for this car. The next year in 2009, where they made it all squarish looking in the front, just completely ruined this car. And it's basically the same platform, but they just look hideous. So this is the last great SL in my opinion. Rami and I met the A from AMG. Do you know his name?
No.
I'm totally spacing it off the top of my head, but we were out at the Concours out at the Wynn, and they have those new HWA cars. Have you heard of these?
No. And I'm so confused because in my understanding that the A was for Affelbach, which was the town that they were supposed to be in. So I don't know who the A is, but I'm not, whatever. I'm sure you met you must have met one of the founders of AMG, which in its right is awesome.
He has gone off.
What are they building now?
They're basically making Cosworth, 190 Cosworths, but all carbon fiber. They're basically Singer 190s. Yeah. They are just crazy looking little cars. All carbon fiber, everything. Like they basically, the only thing left of a real 190 is part of the B pillar or something, but it's everything else is all carbon. The body, everything's carbon fiber. They've got this crazy little turbo V6 thing in it with 6-speed manuals. They're only in manuals. They're going to be making 80 of them or something. Romney claims he's going to get one. I don't know. They're $700,000, but then you probably won't be able to get one for a couple of years. But we saw the one that exists, and it was out at the show. It was really cool looking. But anyways, whatever. All right, guys, that's the show. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to be back on Wednesday night. Make sure if you are in Vegas, you come and see us here at the Container Park this Tuesday. That's just a couple days away, 7 to 10. Right here in the Container Park is Cars Creators.
And maybe we'll stream as well?
Yeah, possibly. Very good. Yeah, we're going to stream all night. So from 7 to 10, we're going to go live, and we'll have whoever's in the park coming and seeing the cars. We'll have people coming in and out. We'll have like a little reception here in the studio, and I'm just going to turn the cameras on. We'll be introducing people all night. They'll be hanging out in those seats right there. Michael Deeb, hopefully, you're going to come on, and you're going to kind of host from afar, hopefully. That'll be kind of fun.
Yeah. As long as my battery life will last me, maybe I'll do like one stint on my phone and one stint on my wife's.
Yeah, there you go.
See if we can string together a couple hours of content, which will be a lot of fun.
Nice. And then make sure if you want information about that, you can go to bidnerds.biz. We've got a page on there specifically for the event, or go to our Cars und Cafe Instagram page. No tickets. It's free. Just show up. It's all good. Everything's free. It's a great little SEMA kickoff. And I think from here, we're going to go over to Lucky Lopez's thing over at Circa when we're done. So it should be a great time. Anything else you want to plug before we get out of here, Michael Deeb?
Nope. See you on Wednesday.
Happy Sunday, everybody.